the right of way on this road is 56 feet. And that includes, like, from the center of the road, if you're going to the left, 12.5 foot, then 2 foot, and then 8 foot, and then 5.5 feet.
Again, I think these questions could be answered so quickly. Don't think we're talking months, but if I've learned anything from all of the time on this stuff, is it's the dumb little things that if you don't get it right, they bite us in the butt. So I would just prefer to table this for now. I support.
So I have a daughter that lives up in Saratoga Springs, and they have a lot of bike paths and that are painted green in the asphalt, identifying them as a bike path. Is that an option that we could consider it, or is the road just not wide enough? And I think that's probably the answer. The other question, the other point is this plat does not have sidewalks on Summit Creek.
On the west and south side.
That is correct. And there, and if we were to do something, it would be on the north and east side, and we have there from the curb to the edge of the right of way, we have we have 13.5 feet to be able to have a suggestion that maybe afterwards we could put something in that area that is a 5-foot walking path, and you're going to have some distance between the property line and some distance between the road. I don't know what the code requires on that, but I think that is something that we can look at on the into the future, because if I understand this 56-foot row becomes platted to the city, and so I think that I think that there's options here that we potentially can work with.
Yeah, and to your point, Bob, about the green lines, I've seen that too. Again, I don't think we should create out of the air right now what our sidewalk plan is going to be. I just want to find out from either Robert or Corbett or whomever, LEI, or whatever their engineering firm is. I just want some answers. And then we can decide, is that what we envisioned? Is that what?
So Dave, are you requesting we table this until our next meeting, or are you saying a month from now? So our last meeting in August or first meeting in September?
Our next meeting,
Provided we
get the answers. Yeah, if we can
Okay.
get, I'm not trying.
I don't like that makes it very open-ended.
I like your concerns. Yeah, and I'm willing to withdraw that motion, Bob, because I think Dave's got some good ideas here to get this as right as we can. And it's worth.
Okay.
Well, after looking at these pictures, it does bring up, concerns that we need to just make sure, because if they're not on this plat, on this drawing, then they're not there. So
we're going to ask, we want to ask Robert Nelson to put in something that is not a requirement yet.
That's not
what we're asking him to do.
No, I think we're asking him to help us to understand the drawings better so we can make a decision. right?
And so we understand the drawings and what is the criteria that we're going to use to say, that's a good understanding and we're willing to accept and approve your plat, or no, we're going to put your plat on hold until we do whatever. So what's the outcome of asking that question? And I'm not saying they're not good questions. I just think that we need to respect that we have current requirements, and in the middle of the stream, we want to change them, and we want everybody to pause while we look at what it is that we want.
Aren't
And
we-
is that
aren't we
fair?
saying that- Aren't we saying
That's
that
fair.
we as unsophisticated laypersons can't understand this drawings enough to know whether current, not new stuff, current ordinances are being abided by? Because, I mean, if Corbett were here, he could probably answer them. If Robert were here, I'm sure he could answer them. But we don't have either of them here, so we're all guessing at what these are saying. So we know if it does or does not comply with existing ordinances.
But wouldn't Wayne know that? And Wayne,
Do we,
um,
do we currently enforce sidewalks? I'm not aware of it.
Not every place requires a sidewalk.
Well,
And I think Four Seasons
We
is
don't have.
probably the only place that requires a sidewalk.
then we can't make him.
But again, I'm just emphasizing, this is a development that's completely different
Yeah.
from the rest of Woodland Hills. The houses are,
Agreed.
the lots are much smaller.
Yeah.
You have higher density, you have more people. I mean, it's different. So to say that we don't have it anywhere, or we don't say that because we don't have them in Woodland Hills, we shouldn't have them here is just kind of a wrong assumption.
So wait,
I'm not saying that.
where did the sidewalks come from? Wasn't it part of like thing, isn't it required?
They're part of our development and construction standards, where there's a road layout and tells you there where the sidewalk is, where the road is, how much is the planter weigh. So that's that's how that's supposed to be designed.
And that's what our engineer would have been reviewing it again.
We hope.
But I'm a little puzzled myself when we talk about sidewalks only being on the north and the east. I'm questioning now myself, why wouldn't want sidewalks to run throughout the cul-de-sac,
Right,
clear around the cul-de-sac,
right.
rather than just on the north side of the cul-de-sac?
Yeah, so
Well, I think that's a great question. And why didn't we put that in there at the beginning? What's the genesis? And is there anybody around that can answer that question? But I'm assuming that when the planning commission presents this to us, that they've done their due diligence and they're saying to us, this final plat satisfies all of the building and construction, et cetera, requirements.
Bob, I don't know that that's fair because, there's a reason why you have two levels of approvals on this. And it's so that each level can evaluate it. I don't think it's fair to put all this on the planning commission and say, you got to do it all. And then we just rubber stamp it.
Even LEI sent an approval letter.
Yeah. And so again, if we can get these questions answered, you ask, what is the outcome? And I think that's a fair question. The outcome is we'll know. We'll know what we're getting. So there's no ambiguity. And if we know and we come to realize that it's our development and construction standards don't specify more, then fair enough, bad on us. We'll approve it and we'll move on. But I can guarantee you that we're going to move our butts to change our development and construction standards so that the next time this happens, it's done and it's done the way we envision it but we need to have a clear understanding of what it is we're actually getting here. And I don't feel like we do right now.
Okay, I'm willing to put it on hold if we put a stipulation on ourselves, because we have a tendency to drag things out forever. So if we can truly get this done in the next 2 weeks or 4 weeks at tops, I'm willing to take into your concerns into place, but I don't want to get to where we're just dragging things out longer and longer.
Well, again, part of that's
And-
on Robert / LEI or whomever. I mean, it's not all on us, but I do agree that we need to be judicious.
I playing the devil's advocate, we were basically here a month ago and we were talking basically the same things, maybe not as clear and detailed, but you know, we were having these same basic concerns.
Jody sent a text to Corbett asking him, and she's gotten a response.
Come to the mic.
Wait a minute. Just wait. Have you got the mic on? They can't hear you.
What was that?
So everything in Four Seasons has north and
Can you repeat that, Jody?
he
That doesn't
believes
make
they
sense.
do. I asked him if the cul-de-sacs in Plat D have sidewalks, and he says he believes they do. And I remember a discussion with Ben at LEI where we talked about if the cul-de-sacs went all the way through the,
I don't think they're confused about the cul-de-sacs. I think they're confused about, is there only a sidewalk on one side of Summit Creek Drive, and it's going to be the other side, not this side?
if it's
Actually, the confusion's even worse than that. Now we're not convinced that we're getting sidewalks all the way around the cul-de-sacs.
Corbett thinks they are.
Yeah, but the drawing doesn't show that
On the cul-de-sacs?
on the cul-de-sacs.
At least
The
part.
way we interpret it, that they don't show it.
So anyway, it's, again, they're
Okay.
just pretty simple questions, but
Help us
there-
understand where the
Okay,
sidewalks
so
will be.
Doral has said that he is willing to withdraw his motion and move that we table. Is that,
If
To our
Bob
next meeting.
withdraws his second,
well, you can withdraw
I'm-
your motion either way.
You
and then
can
Bob
withdraw and it doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Well-
I can say that on page 13, it shows what the pedestrian access is and what the corners are going to look like in the cul-de-sacs.
I don't know what the truth is anymore. So
Yeah, from
I'm,
the drawings, I'm just having a hard time.
me too. So I'm going to
We're just
withdraw my
confusing
motion.
ourselves more and more.
Someone smarter.
Okay, Doral has withdrawn his motion in deference to someone smarter.
so I make a motion
Put that in the note.
that
but-
we table this and we make a request to Robert Nelson to help us understand where we will be getting sidewalks in the Plat D subdivision, and that we do that in such a way that we can hopefully vote this next council meeting on this issue.
Okay, so you vote that we table this for tonight. We request Robert to help clarify where sidewalks are located in this subdivision, and that we would like to have enough information to be able to hold a vote at our next meeting.
Yes.
I would second that.
I would
But-
include also to make sure that the width is correct throughout the whole development, the width and the
The,
locations.
The sidewalks in the cul-de-sacs are 4 feet wide minimum.
We do that in a separate motion? Let's take this motion and second and vote on it, and then we'll do another motion with the sidewalk with kind of requirements.
I'll second Dave's motion.
Oh, Paul seconded
did.
already.
Okay, sorry.
So I have a motion and a second on tabling this till the next meeting and requesting information from Robert Nelson so that we have enough information to hold the vote at our next meeting. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Aye.
Okay, so we have MacArthur, Kinnison, Pratt, and Malkovich in favor, and Otley opposed. So that motion passes. Now, Carrie, did you want to make another motion?
Yes, I'll motion that in that discussion with Robert Nilsson, that we clarify the width of the sidewalks. He will be showing their location, the widths of those located sidewalks.
Okay, so Carrie moves that the width of the sidewalks in this whole subdivision be specified and clear. And a second from MacArthur on that motion.
I would just like them to match the church's sidewalks.
Yeah.
So it looks normal.
Okay, Doral's requesting that the sidewalks match in width
Well,
to the existing.
looks tied in. You're
All right.
right.
With the caveat,
All right.
I'm so sorry if it's all there.
Calling for the vote.
I don't want to merge lane on the sidewalk.
All right,
Yeah.
all in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed?
Aye.
Okay, so we've got MacArthur, Kinnison, Pratt, and Malkovich in favor of that, and Otley opposed.
And I'm almost with you, Bob.
Well, I'm reading on the document right here where it says the width of it. If we want to ask him to change it, that's one thing. But right here, it says elements A and B are 4 feet wide minimum. And when you look at the drawing, that's talking about the pedestrian access route. That's
Well,
on
and
page
just like we
13.
had before, the width, and then those ADA were only on one side of the road, but not the other side, and so
But
the
we're not asking about
location.
ADA. We're not asking about ADA. We're asking about what is the width? And it
So
has
can-
nothing to do with ADA.
And we don't know how much the church is, how wide it is.
I will go.
And I don't know that we
Just
need
not
5
people.
foot wide sidewalks on cul-de-sacs. I don't know that that's a good precedence to set. I think that the width of the sidewalk on Summit Creek should be 5 feet, but 5 feet, yeah, but I'm not sure that it needs to be 5 feet on a cul-de-sac. What is?
Right now, we're just asking the questions, though, aren't we? We're
I
just asking.
agree with that. Yeah,
That's fine.
I agree
I'm
that
not-
it doesn't
I'm not
necessarily
saying-
have to be 5 feet, but just
What I'm
locating
saying-
where they are and then what those widths are. Where's the location and what those widths are? Because some of them may be 4 feet, some may be 5. I think it is important that we match it with the church on Summit Creek Drive, because we know there's going to be an increase in pedestrian traffic on that road. And then just to clarify that the ones in the cul-de-sacs might only be 4 feet. It's just a clarification.
And so, but we're not addressing the ADA question. So that's not in the proposal.
Well,
So we're not
I
asking
could-
for that answer.
Well, we could add that in.
And
Jody, is it too late to add that in?
probably need to make another proposal.
You know what? I don't have a proposal for every question we want to ask. We've already kind of said we're going to get some answers, ask more questions if we have them. Again, I don't think Robert's trying to sneak anything around us or anything.
Yeah, we're the dumb.
No.
Interpret.
Yeah,
He-
Dave,
That's
He's
obvious.
always answered our questions when we've asked him, so I'm sure he's willing to do that again.
and Dave, will you kind of take the reins on making sure the questions get answered?
Will I take the reins? Sure.
Well, they seem to be strongly. I want to make sure the questions that get asked are the questions you want to have answered.
Yes, yeah.
because
And,
you're
and I think Robert
specific.
does too.
I can get answers.
Okay,
Perfect.
and
Perfect.
yeah, make sure you communicate with Dave and get his questions answered, so.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Next item on the agenda is the approval, we're tabling number 4. Okay, the antenna on the city building. Next item on the agenda is the resolution amending the consolidated fee schedule, and we are not doing that, right?
Because we don't have. the
Okay, so
numbers.
we're just making sure there was else on there she wanted us to do. All right, so tabling number 5, then Number 6 is the ordinance amending city code title 10-2-1 definitions, amending the definition of finished grade and natural grade and adding a definition for finished grade points and natural grade.
I move that we approve that as written.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion to approve that as written by Otley and a second from MacArthur. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I,
Okay, that motion passes unanimously.
Finally, no hair pulled out.
All right. Number 7,
hey, be nice.
ordinance amending city code title 10-11-8B, parentheses 5, sports courts.
I motion that we accept the recommendation of the planning commission and have sports courts setbacks the same as accessory buildings.
And just a minute. Wayne did have an addendum to that motion
Oh,
of
yes.
an accessory building.
Oh,
So shall we?
Yeah, I
ask-
think I said that. I said accessory building.
Yeah.
Carrie-
Okay,
Carrie
okay.
said, but it needs
Yeah.
to be in language too.
So shall I read it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
please.
Okay. Ordinance number 2021-21, an ordinance amending city code 10-2-1 definitions. Whereas the City of Woodland Hills Planning Commission held a public meeting on June 16th, 2021 at 7 p.m. for the purpose of amending title 10-11-8B, parentheses 5, sports courts. And whereas the City of Woodland Hills City Council held a public meeting on July 13th, 2021 at 6 p.m. for the purpose of amending title 10-11-8B, parentheses 5, sports courts. And whereas the public meeting was preceded by the posting of a notice of public meeting at the city offices, city mailboxes, on the city website, along with notification to the Payson Chronicle newspaper, a newspaper of general circulation at least 24 hours prior to the public meeting. Now therefore be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Woodland Hills, Utah, City Code 10-11-8B, parentheses 5, be amended to read. 5, sports courts. For purposes of this subsection, a sports court is an area for recreational activities that requires a fence to keep balls, etc., from leaving the area. All parts of a sports court, including fences, shall be located within the area of a lot where an accessory building may be constructed as specified in the table in section 10-11-2, parentheses B. Fences which are part of a sports court shall comply with this subsection, except that fences may not be more than 18 feet in height above natural grade. The total enclosed area of a sport court shall not exceed 7,200 square feet. Any portion of a sport court fence higher than 6 feet must be 75% open.
Does the sports court also include a tennis court? Right? So that's within that size when you just gave that, that includes a tennis court size, right? Because a few people do have them.
Yes. All right. So that is the ordinance adoption amended, the ordinance amendment on the table.
I still have my motion, same.
So Carrie made the motion that we approve this.
I'll second that.
I have a second from Pratt. Any further questions or discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, motion passes and carries unanimously. Thank you. All right. We are to the end of our agenda.
Motion to adjourn then.
Second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Right. Thanks. You guys have a good night. Don't leave without signing these